Hello everyone, and welcome to another War Review by NikoDyz Plays. Today we're going to be discussing some meta, especially what not to do, but we're going to be showcasing a lot of newer meta being used to punch up quite effectively. So to start us off with the big do not do. I understand that the majority of you don't have 150k Inhumanes team that you keep in case you come across a team like this. But don't get sloppy and think that you can just slap together any chumps and they're gonna win because they're almost double the size. It doesn't work like that. Please don't do that. Alrighty, Commander Lala. So he used this team to attack. It's been quite a while, very long time since anybody used a Fury on offense effectively. But the obvious synergy between these two, I mean, she carried the team basically, but that is quite the punch up. 100k, mind you, Strife was gone, but yes, good solid win considering that it's basically one character built up to take out a meta defense team. Not bad. Why do I keep trying to show this off? You already know I can do this. All right, I thought if I put a block here it would be easier. Didn't really save me any time. This was a very strange composition. And you can argue that it won, so there's not really a negative to it. But I mean, I can tell just by looking here, these are leftovers that were thrown together. And the idea was to make the enemy overcompensate or undercompensate, right? Because a lot of us don't really build up much of a name team, which we should. That'll come later. Guardian's not really used anywhere. Hand Sentry is actually, he's got some niche uses. Sabertooth, it looks like he built them up for Dark Dimension 4 and regretted it, right? But, you know, time makes fools of us all. But this team, like, okay, so he doesn't have Blob and Toad build up. I get it. And maybe he's got somebody else with his Marauder team, right? But first off, you should have Blob and Toad built up. They came out like 2 years ago, guys. I don't understand why I'm seeing people who don't have them built up. What happened to your Supernatural team? He has no synergy with his team. I mean, you got the win, but you neutered your... Brotherhood 2 has so many uses these days that I don't know why you would not first off build them up, and secondly, throw them against chumps like that. So yeah, that's a win for us. Alright, so Brotherhood 2 is a very good counter to use against Ghost, basically, right? The Pimtac team itself needs way too many T4s to be used effectively. In Platinum 1 and almost 2, we've come across very few enormous Pimtac teams on defense. So it's mostly Ghosts that you're concerned about. And the idea with the team like, well, with the Guardians, at the very least, you're trying to throw Ghosts in there to throw off your opponent to, again, overcompensate or undercompensate. Why Fury is there? I suppose an Inhumanes team with Coulson is being run instead of Fury for some reason. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I'm not trying to shame this person's defense. I want to point out that on a team like this, I mean, Blob exists to take some damage, and at such a tiny blob, he probably got tossed right away. Moreover, your ISOs are... Why do you have Healer on everybody? Does that seem like a good idea to anybody? Right? Now, Healer on him, I can get that, right? I used to run Striker on him, and unless you have like a 7R Juggernaut that you built up, I don't really see the point. Right, so Healer is fine on him. A Healer could be fine on him too because of a large health pool, but at this tiny little size, he's not going to do anything. You definitely want Skirmisher on him, and if you can spare it, the level 5 for the more focus, it really will help him. But again, this is a waste. This is basically contributing nothing. I can see a lot of people were using the Brotherhood 2 for Dark Dimension 2. It was considered a viable team, so I can understand why these three are G13. But having such a lopsided team means you can't effectively use it. So you consider how little damage, I mean no damage, these two would do to Ghost. They basically just were dead weight. I didn't think I'd ever have to talk about this again. I used to have to give like speeches to my alliance when I was a leader about this kind of stuff. And it's like, first off, this team is lopsided to hell. He's got good red stars on him, and I imagine that was the justification for boosting him up. But I mean, this isn't the biggest Hela, but I guarantee you that these two were blasted to hell right off the bat, and probably her as well, turning it into a 2 versus 5 that they are not going to win, right? So yeah, normally you can punch down effectively with Supernatural against Asgardians, and I suppose why this is a bit relevant is because people don't have 300k symbiotes at our level of play in Platinum 1 and Platinum 2. So you don't want to use your 5, 6, 700k symbiote team to punch down 200 or 300k. But you really need to look at these teams, right? You think 350, oh, it's almost 100k punch down, except it's almost all in her. You don't want him to be big either. And these two, it's fine if they're small. So yeah, you just fed them a win. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm personally having very mixed success using Brotherhood against Silver Surfer. The problem is that I find regularly Pyro's basic does almost no damage. I have a 5R G12 Pyro, and it last battle that I had, he was doing about 12,000 damage with the basic, and Silver Surfer was healing 25,000. So you do the math, right? Toad doesn't do much damage, but he can get slows and such on him. But I'm a little confused. I gave the last person an out, and I said I understand why they were G13, but why did you G14 these people? Like, I would love to, because I love Brotherhood, but then you left these two behind. So I don't understand like why you think that this would carry. I mean, Blob has a lot of uses elsewhere too, right? So yeah, don't do things like this, please. Another thing I want to point out, he basically used his Brotherhood team to kill not a very big BKT team. So definitely it was a wasted attack, because now we need to use a full meta team to take out Silver Surfer. Oh wait, no, apparently you can just bring Black Panther, Mabaku, Okoye, Sabretooth, Bullseye to take him out. Oh wait, no, it didn't work. Well, they got him to half health. That's not bad. That's not bad. No, seriously, guys. Every single turn, this guy's gonna heal himself, right? So he's dead weight. She's got a speed bar rewind thing. He's useless. He is absolutely useless. Even 7R, he's not gonna do anything. And Bullseye, he's not bad on Merc defense, right? But this isn't Merc on defense. So yeah, you really gotta ask yourself. I mean, at least they got the size right. That they wouldn't need to be around this size, but there's no synergy here, and yeah, of course they weren't going to win. So yeah, this is the same Asgardian team as before. Same kind of concept. They probably all got blasted to hell in the first turn. Mind you, at least he brought Drax to tank the opening defense down and spreading it to everybody, but then they were dead. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work. Okay, so we got a Sinister Six minus Doc Ock that brought the Supernatural and Wasp. Yeah, not a particularly big Supernatural team, but the fact that they put these resources into them makes me wonder why they didn't bother putting in Elsa. And I mean, really, some people substitute also. She's considered the most droppable character, right? I mean, Hela, if he's using Hela elsewhere, then I guess he wouldn't have brought her, right? But if he's using Hela and not Loki, Loki fits in very well. With his special, when he summons his minions, they're mystic, so they give him extra energy and such, right? But Wasp, like, and I don't even know what happened here, because this doesn't even have Doc Ock. The thing that can go wrong with this is that if he puts a blind on him, he'll cleanse some of the debuffs that this team has. So that might have happened and messed them up. But even with this, I have no idea what happened here, to be honest. But then, he cleaned up. So I like. All right, well, he's running Skilletary and Shadowlands, I suppose, right? But honestly, Ronan would have been better here as a 5th. At least he's Mystic. He can put the ability block on people and get it extended. by Scarlet Witch, right? He summons minions that when they die, there's a little bit of energy from Mordo. Like, so, I mean, I guess he won. But why did you... Like, I don't understand when people do things like this to their defenders. Like, I understand now that there's heroes for hire, but something just tells me that this decision wasn't made quite a while ago. Moreover, why is he so big and she's so small? Like, there's no sense of balance to this. So I don't understand. I thought, you know, I remember on stream there was a bit of a condescending remark where it's like, yeah, well, you know, when you get into the higher leagues, you're not going to see these kind of attacks. And I'm like, we're on gold 4, almost platinum 1, right? Like, we're not in the wood leagues, but this guy's in platinum 2, and he's just slapping together teams like that. Well, not much to say here. One thing I want to point out with Guardians, they seem to be a lot better on defense than offense, right? And the nice thing about them being on defense, he starts off with his ult, and he starts off with his special. So you can have a situation where dead, or dead, or he, you know, they could turn the match into 5 versus 3 right off the bat. And yeah, if you are unlucky that if both of these two like tag team her and take her out right off the bat, you're in for a world of pain. Black Bolt is still Black Bolt, but you don't have any villain tech here, which is what he does the best on. And you do have Drax tanking a little bit until he can use his basic to clear it. So, I mean, yeah, Guardians are definitely outdated now, but you still need to think about what you're using before you go in. I don't know, guys. This is a counter. This is a direct counter. I'm guessing that... Oh, no, I don't even know what happened here. And she's pretty big, but that's not really going to make much of a difference. They could have gotten really bad RNG where they kept killing people and she kept reviving them, but... Yeah. Don't do this either. Also, maybe not make everybody striker. Goodness. Okay, so this is considered to be one of the better defense teams these days. For good reason. Darn good reason. But what in the world was this? Okay, you got Uncle Grandpa that you could just slap him into any team and they work, right? And I guess he's not running as Guardians because, you know, they're too easy to be countered by symbiotes. But then he put his Doc Ock there that he built up. Like, why would you build him up and not the other Sinister Six? At least run the peasant version of Sinister Six. Goodness. And then he didn't even kill Coulson. He's only 60k. I think he just put it on auto and walked away. But, you know, he got the win in the end. With his, like, Inhumane / Zemo / Ultron team. Guess at this point we had already gotten the win. I guess it wasn't as important, but I don't know. I kind of feel like if you could have used this and this and this a lot better earlier on, maybe we wouldn't have won. I don't know. What do I know? All right, and that is where we are going to end it. So thank you very much for watching. I appreciate everybody who stopped in. If you'd like to submit something to the show, feel free to join me on the Discord. I will leave a link to my server down in the description. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a good night.